Salute Booktube. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here for lucky number 13 of the series of the Celebrating Booktubers. I know in North America, from my time in Canada, I was a university student in Canada. I know the number 13 is very unlucky. I don't know why. When you go to apartment blocks, there'd be a 12th floor and then a 14th floor, and there'd be no 13. So, could you possibly be that superstitious? But apparently it's unlucky and you can't mention it. But regardless, I'm going to make a volume 13 of this Celebrating Booktube series. And for this one, I don't wish any bad luck to this booktuber. Quite the opposite. I wish her only the best of luck. In fact, I wanted to put this booktuber much sooner, earlier in the series. Is just the reason why I'm doing this now is because this video will probably come out, will be mid-July, past the middle of July. And this booktuber had made a video recently about August reading. August is Women in Translation Month, and the booktuber where I watched a very early video for August reading is Jenny Jables, my good friend Jenny Jables. Please do check out her channel, subscribe to her channel, she'll be linked below. But yeah, she made a video a couple of weeks ago, maybe even a month now ago, about women in translation, and she was a bit flustered. She wanted a little bit of advice, what to read, who to read. There's so many options. And Women in Translation Month, I guess, that's what it celebrates. You have to find an author, a female author in a foreign language translated to English. I guess if you speak another language, you could do it vice versa. I'm not sure if the rules also include if the woman is a translator, if it's a male writer and a woman has translated. I'm not sure about that. We need to double check the rules. But in my case, the book I wanted to show and what I wanted to highlight for this event and for this video is by a woman author. Very complex, actually. A Arab woman who wrote in German and then was translated into English, and then translated back later into Arabic. I'll get into it. But so yeah, it's a woman author written in German, translated into English. This video is not going to be very long because I have a doctor's appointment. Apparently I got a call from my insurance, my health insurance. They said, since you're over 40 years old, you're going to have to do a medical assessment before we give you medical insurance because I'm above 40. I don't know what that's about. So I have to rush to that appointment. So that's one reason this video is going to be long. The second reason this video is not going to be long, it's going to be short. The second reason this video is going to be quick and short is I've already actually discussed this, and I've discussed it quite thoroughly previously, much earlier, maybe even a year ago now. I discussed this. I actually made 2 videos on this subject. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just very briefly discuss this book and this author and the translation and how relevant it is for women in translation in August. But then I'm going to link the 2 videos, and if you're interested in the subject, I highly recommend you watch my 2 previous videos, my 2 older videos on this subject, where I go into much more detail. There's a lot more detail. With that being said, I was hoping to participate in Women in Translation, and I was hoping to actually discuss this book. And actually, there's an old translation of this that's out of copyright that I was hoping even to do a read-along. On this channel, I'd actually read it out loud. However, I have some travel plans. I've mentioned this in previous videos. I'm going to be away almost to the middle of August. I'll probably be back mid-August, and I don't know if that's enough time. And unfortunately, I'm not sure if I can participate in Women in Translation this year. At least, maybe I can participate towards the end of August, the second half of August. However, this book, the book I'm going to discuss today, I want to give it full justice. So maybe we have to postpone it to next August or some other time, because I think condensing it, it might not be impossible. I just don't want to make any commitments until I'm back from my travels. So with that being said, I'm going to actually introduce the book and show it to you. Again, Women in Translation is a month dedicated to women authors, foreign language books by women authors that have been translated into English. For me, I'm going to show this book, and again, I've discussed this previously in the past, and again, I'll link to the two videos, but I'll show it again here. This is a cover of a much more recent English translation, which is in copyright. But anyway, the book is this. Oh, the glare, such an anticlimax. Let me try that again. These white covers and the lighting that I have here is just atrocious. There we go. That's a little bit better, I hope. Memoirs of an Arabian Princess, and that's the Arabian Princess there. And I'm gonna zoom in into the author, who that princess is. That princess is Emily Rute, born Sayyid. Emily Rute is her name, but that wasn't her birth name. That's a name she took because of the episodes in her life, which we'll get into. She was born Sayyida Salame, Princess of Oman and Zanzibar. How much more exotic can you get than that? The Princess of Zanzibar and Oman. And there she is in her traditional Zanzibari Omani South Arabian stroke / East African garb. And then we see here is a newly translated, I think by a relative of hers, newly translated by Andrea Emily Stumpf, who I think is related to Emily Rute, and we'll get to how that is possible. Now, the translation, which language was this originally? This book was originally written in German by an Arabian princess. Now, how did an Arabian princess learn German? This is where we get into Emily Rute's story. Emily Rute was born, as we mentioned, Sayyida Salame. And she was born the princess, how can we do this? She was born the princess, this glare, it just destroys me. Let me, I'm actually trying stuff out. Oh my god, that's horrible. Okay, well, this is gonna have to do. We don't really have much of a choice, and I do need to hold her. She was born in Oman, and that's the Omani Empire. I actually live here. This was the Omani Empire in its heyday in the 19th century. And the Omani Empire not only was on this coast, on what is Oman, the southern Arabian coast, but they also had a colony in East Africa. It actually went into southern Iran, the Strait of Hormuz, which is very much in the news today, southern Arabia, Oman and parts of Yemen, and then into East Africa, specifically Zanzibar, which is on the coast of the modern nation of Tanzania in East Africa. Again, if Kenya is also nearby in this region. If you are a bit geographically not very geographically sure, you can check this on Google Maps or on your favorite atlas. But basically, this was the Afro-Arabian Empire that existed in the 19th century, a very maritime-based sea power. You can see that they're linked by the sea, and you can see the shipping lines through the Indian Ocean. So Emily Rute, born Princess Salama, was a princess. She was the daughter of the Sultan of Oman and Zanzibar. And she was expected to live a normal Arabian princess life, which is a secluded life, a life in the harem. In those days, the women were secluded in a harem with other women, not really expected to have any kind of role in society. I mean, role in society, like an external role in society, like having a normal job or something like that. And it's not just to say that this was in the Middle East or in Africa. the Victorian period, women were almost in a very similar position. In any case, so Princess Salama was born to the Sultan, the King of Amman and Zanzibar, and she had a sheltered life. What happened to her as she reached, she grew older, is there were a lot of European, mostly sailors and merchantmen, coming through this part of the world. They would sail from Europe, probably from the which doesn't show here, the Suez Canal, or from going around the tip of Africa, going to India, or trading with this Amani Empire, which was a great Indian Ocean empire. That's the Indian Ocean right there. And once upon a time, a German, he was either a sailor, again, watch my original video, he was either a sailor or a merchantman, like on business. Anyway, somehow they met, the German sailor and Princess Salama. They fell in love. She got pregnant from her lover, the German lover, and that was unacceptable. To be, well, first getting impregnated out of wedlock, and B, to a infidel Westerner, Christian Westerner, that was unacceptable. So her position was rendered untenable, and she eloped. She eloped to Germany, and she moved to Germany to escape censure, and she became Emily Rute, and she lived in some suburb of Hamburg or something like that. So from the princess, the Sultana of Oman and Zanzibar, to suburban German housewife, Emily Rute. So, but what she did was, she eventually, by moving to Germany, learned the German language, and again, going from a very privileged sultana with a very rich background, her husband, the German sailor who she eloped with, died early, and she was left almost destitute. She was poor, and she needed money to support her children, because she had, I think, another baby with the German sailor, who eventually became her husband, but he died early. And she was left alone, and she couldn't go back to her homeland. She couldn't go back to her homeland for any assistance, so she had to do something herself. So what she did was she wrote this book, Memoirs of an Arabian Princess, and she wrote it in German. So she moved to Germany, and she learned German, and she wrote this book, and it was quite popular in Germany, so popular that it was translated. I don't know if it was in her lifetime or shortly after her lifetime. It was translated into English in the 1920s, I want to say, maybe early 1930s, by an English translator, British translator. And it remained popular, and apologies, BookTube. My phone just the video just shut off, and I thought I was out of memory, out of space. But it turns out I got an update your software, and it completely just shut down the video. So I'm going to continue. We were talking about Emily Rute, formerly Princess Salama. I think I left off at she wrote the book in German, and it was translated into English by a British author, a British translator, and it remained popular. And the Arabic people, the people in the Middle East, sort of forgot about her. They forgot about her, but they shouldn't have, because her book became the first memoir ever written by an Arab woman that we know of. A memoir from the 19th century of an Arabian princess. And this book, again, you should see the video that I linked, the original video that I did. She discusses life in Zanzibar, what it was like growing up. Just an excellent primary source for that period, for a region and a part of the world and a history that even people in the Middle East are not sure of. Now, I had said that people like Arabian people, Middle Eastern people, even they were unaware of her, but it actually became popular again when it was translated. So the German was translated into English, and then the English was translated into Arabic, because this was thought to be an important primary source about Arabic history. And the Arabic version of this book, of Emily Rute's book, of Princess Salama's book, was translated by my grandfather, and this is the cover. And now, of course, it's an Arabic, Memoirs of an Arabian Princess. If you can read Arabic, that's my grandfather's name, the translator, and his name. And the publisher is right there, and it's got this very manga sort of. I don't know what this art is, but I'm surprised. You can see the seafaring, you can see the cunning princess, and you can see, I guess that's her brother who was, I guess, forced her out because of what she did with the German sailor, and which was unacceptable at the time. But yeah, so my grandfather translated the translation back into Arabic. So it was written in German, translated into English, and then translated into Arabic by my grandfather. So my grandfather aside, because this is Women in Translation, where we're celebrating women in translation. So I want to focus on Emily Rute. I'll go back to the English cover. We're going back to Emily Rute, or Princess Salama, whatever you will. She was the woman author in German, and then translated into English, as I mentioned, by a British translator. There's a much more recent one, again, as I mentioned earlier. It's not focusing. Maybe there. Andrea Emily Stumpf, who I think is her great-grandniece, or great-grandniece, or great-granddaughter. I forget which one, but this was a much more recent translation, again, from the German to English, which is appropriate. Now, I wanted to do a read-along. We can't do this modern translation because that's under copyright, but I think the old one is out of copyright. So that was my plan. That was my plan, to do a read-along of the old English translation. Again, time permitting. I have to travel. I'll be back mid-August. I don't know if we can do it from mid-August to the end of August. That'll probably be a video a day, and I don't want to, again, I've been bombarding you guys with videos. I don't want to bombard again when I'm back. So maybe I'll postpone it for another August, maybe next August. Or perhaps before. It depends. Let's see what demand is like. If everybody wants something like this, let me know in the comments, and if I get overwhelming response, maybe I'll do it sooner than next August. Again, I don't want to promise, but we'll see if we can do it this August. But yeah, so that's the Woman in Translation. Again, inspired by Jenny Jables. She reminded me of Women in Translation Month. I also had discussed Women in Translation Month last year, and again, for some reason, I didn't participate. Or I did, but I participated late. Anyway, I was new to BookTube, so I wasn't all there. I wasn't exactly sure, but in any case. What else do we have to discuss before I close this? I can't believe that this video is going to be short. That's why I'm like, no, there must be something else to discuss. I just wanted to say that if I don't do this read along of this book, because I really do want to give it its proper time and do it right, I will try to find another book, female woman author, translated into English, and do it hopefully when I'm back from my travels in the latter part of August, second half of August. Maybe a shorter book that I can finish in 2 weeks. So I do want to participate in Women in Translation. I would have preferred to have done this. Now I don't want to take out the iPad. The Memoirs of an Arabian Princess. But again, just because of my scheduling, I don't know if it's going to be possible this year. But I did want to do this. I wanted to highlight Jenny Jables' channel. I wanted to thank her for always supporting me. She comments almost on every video. I enjoy her channel as well. You should definitely check out her channel. Subscribe to her channel. What else is there to say? I think that's it, BookTube. Thank you so much. Salute.